Scene script. Picture this. It's a cold, dreary night in London. The fog is thick, and the clock atop the Palace of Westminster strikes midnight. The Palace of Westminster, with its distinctive Gothic architecture and iconic Big Ben, is a symbol of British power and history. But beneath the veneer of politics and pomp, the palace harbors a chilling secret. This majestic edifice, home to the Houses of Parliament, has been the stage for countless tales of spectres and apparitions. Our story begins in the early 19th century. The Palace of Westminster we know today was still a work in progress, rising from the ashes of a devastating fire that had consumed the old palace. In the midst of the rebuilding, stories began to circulate among the workers of a spectral figure seen pacing the halls. This was no ordinary phantom. The figure was described as a tall, regal woman, her face obscured by a flowing veil. She moved with a purpose, her footsteps echoing through the deserted corridors. The sightings became so frequent that workers refused to venture into certain parts of the palace after dark, their fear of the spectral lady outweighing their duty. Historians speculate that this spectral woman may be the ghost of Queen Anne Boleyn, the ill-fated second wife of King Henry VIII, who was beheaded at the Tower of London. The Palace of Westminster was a significant location during her tumultuous reign, and it's believed that her spirit may have returned to the place that held such importance in her life. Yet, despite the centuries that have passed since her death, Queen Anne's ghost continues to be sighted in the Palace of Westminster. Witnesses have reported seeing her figure, her head held high, her gaze fixed on some unseen point as she paces the halls with an air of melancholy determination. Legend has it that this spectral figure still wanders the halls to this day, a chilling reminder of the palace's haunted history. As we delve deeper into the 19th century, the tales of the supernatural become even more intriguing. The Palace of Westminster, with its grandeur and historical significance, has been the backdrop of many a chilling tale. Among the ghostly figures said to roam these hallowed halls, two phantoms from the 19th century stand out: the Radiant Boy and the Headless Coachman. The Radiant Boy, as his name suggests, is believed to be the spirit of a young boy, glowing with an ethereal light. Sightings of this spectral child are particularly spine-chilling, as they often take place in the dead of night, in the otherwise dark corridors of the palace. The identity of this radiant boy is shrouded in mystery, but some speculate that he could be a former page boy of the palace, forever trapped in the time of his demise. Then there's the Headless Coachman, a ghostly figure that reportedly haunts the palace's grounds. Witnesses claim to have seen a headless figure, clothed in the attire of a 19th century coachman, driving a spectral carriage drawn by 4 ghostly horses. The identity of this apparition remains a mystery, though some speculate that he could be a coachman who met a tragic end while on duty at the palace. The 19th century was a time of significant historical events, and it's not too far-fetched to think that these ghosts are a manifestation of the turmoil and upheaval of that era. The Palace of Westminster has been the witness to countless debates, decisions, and events that have shaped the course of British history. Perhaps these apparitions are echoes of the past, lingering reminders of the individuals who once walked these halls and the dramatic events that unfolded within these walls. These spectral figures, forever trapped in their era, continue to haunt the palace, their stories echoing through the centuries. The Palace of Westminster, in all its grandeur, remains a place where the past and present intertwine, where history breathes life into the stone, and where the ghosts of yesteryears continue to whisper their tales. As we move into the 20th century, the ghostly presence in the palace refuses to fade. The Palace of Westminster, in its grandeur, has been a silent witness to the passing of time, its halls echoing with the whispers of history. And as we journeyed through the 20th century, these whispers took on a life of their own, manifesting as spectral figures that roamed the corridors of the palace. One of the most commonly cited apparitions was the White Lady. Many believe her to be the spirit of a woman who, in life, was deeply connected to the palace. Sightings of the White Lady were often accompanied by a distinct scent of perfume, and she was known to appear in the palace's library, seemingly engrossed in the countless stories contained within. Then there's the haunting figure of the Phantom Monarch, a spectral ruler whose presence was often felt in the royal gallery. Theories abound as to the identity of this ghostly king. Some suggest he's the spirit of King Charles I, who was famously tried for high treason in the palace's very halls. Others believe he's the ghost of William II, whose reign marked a period of significant conflict and upheaval. Regardless of their true identities, these apparitions have become inseparable from the palace's identity. They are echoes of a tumultuous past, a past marked by power struggles, political intrigue, and dramatic shifts in societal norms. They serve as spectral reminders of the individuals who once walked these halls, individuals whose actions and decisions shaped the course of British history. The ghostly inhabitants of the Palace of Westminster are not mere figments of the imagination. They are the embodiment of centuries of history, the personification of the palace's past. They are the palace's enduring legacy, its connection to a bygone era. These ghostly figures, eternally bound to the palace, serve as eerie reminders of a past that refuses to be forgotten. In the 21st century, the spectral inhabitants of the palace show no signs of departing. Our era has seen its fair share of ghostly residents in the Palace of Westminster, with two of the most prominent being the Grey Lady and the Phantom Piper. The Grey Lady is often seen wandering the Hall of Westminster, a solemn figure in a long, flowing grey dress. Many believe she is the spirit of a woman who died in the palace during the Blitz of the Second World War, her apparition forever linked to the heart-wrenching events of that time. Her presence is a chilling reminder of the palace's resilience and the indomitable spirit of the British people. Then there's the Phantom Piper, a spectral figure whose haunting melodies echo through the stone corridors of the palace in the dead of night. Legend has it, he is the ghost of a Scottish piper who was ordered to explore a series of secret tunnels beneath the palace. He was told to play his pipes as he walked, so those above ground could trace his progress. But the piper never returned, and his music stopped abruptly. To this day, his mournful tunes are heard, as if he is still trying to find his way back. These apparitions, while unsettling, provide a fascinating insight into the palace's more recent history. The Grey Lady and the Phantom Piper, each in their own way, symbolize the palace's enduring connection to the tumultuous events of the past century. From the devastation of war to the political turmoil that has often gripped the nation, the Palace of Westminster has stood as a steadfast symbol of Britain's strength and resilience. Its spectral inhabitants, each with their own story rooted in the history of the palace, serve as poignant reminders of this enduring legacy. These spectral figures, still haunting the palace, add another layer to its rich and complex history. With over 2 centuries of haunted history, the Palace of Westminster is a hotbed for the supernatural. We've journeyed through time, weaving between the centuries, unearthing tales of spectral sightings and eerie encounters. In the 19th century, we met phantoms from a bygone era, like the cloaked figure in the Undercroft Chapel and the mysterious woman in black roaming the corridors. Then we ventured into the 20th century, where spirits seemed to adopt a more modern guise. The airman of World War II, lost in time, still seeking his way home, and the infamous grey-suited politician, forever pacing in the members' lobby. As we moved into the 21st century, the apparitions took a turn for the unexpected. The ghostly choir that fills St. Stephen's Chapel with ethereal music, the shadowy figure in the public gallery, and the spectral cat prowling the ancient halls, each one adding a new layer of intrigue to the palace's haunted legacy. Each ghost story, each spectral sighting, has added to the rich tapestry of the palace's history, influencing how we perceive this iconic building. It's not just a place of political power and architectural grandeur, but a meeting place of the living and the dead, the physical and the spectral. This ongoing fascination with the palace's haunted history isn't just about thrill-seeking or ghost hunting. It's a testament to our human curiosity, our desire to understand the unknown, to connect with our past, and perhaps to find comfort in the thought that maybe, just maybe, there's something more beyond our mortal coil. As we step out of the shadowy halls of the Palace of Westminster, we leave behind a world where the past refuses to stay buried, where every corner holds a tale of the spectral and the supernatural. But remember, the next time you hear the clock strike midnight, the ghosts of the palace might just be making their rounds.